Premier League is back, and we've got it all covered here on Leicester Till I Die TV. Subscribe.
Don't worry, Burnley. One day we will include you on that last bit where somebody's lifting the trophy. Not sure what trophy it will be, but we'll be on. Good evening, everybody. It's Leicester Till I Die TV. How the devil are we all? On Twitter at Leicester TID, on Facebook, Leicester Till I Die, the group, and on YouTube, if you're on there, Leicester Till I Die TV. And if you're not on YouTube, please nip over there and watch us there and subscribe to us. We've been going now just literally a few days over a year, and we're at something like 902, 903 subs, which is amazing. I never ever thought I'd get to that, but we're trying to get to the 1,000. So if you can get over onto YouTube, tweet me knobs, push me buttons, do whatever you need to do just to subscribe, follow, like, and all that, I would be forever ever grateful. Going to say a couple of quick hellos all around the world here. Bcrom, Leicester City fan from Canada. Good day to you, sir. I say, sir, I'm presuming there. You could be a madam. Let me know. Welcome to you. Aaron John, a new subscriber from India. Vestergaard almost done. I know. We're so excited about that, I'll tell you. And there's other news as well, which we're going to touch on. And Hayden Whittle, thanks for joining us. Good evening. How the devil are you? Talking about tweaking me knobs, this guy, he said the other day that we get on really well and we've got a little bit of a bromance going here. I'm going to be honest with you, it's just that he's always available. But let's bring him in and say hello to Dan from Turfmoor-house TV. Dan, how the devil are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. It is. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Chris. I tried to make myself available for anyone, but you especially.
What can I say? I feel like I'm being drawn back to Burnley.
Basically, I'm just missing a father figure in my life, mate. So that's why I'm here.
I tell you what, if you were one of my kids, I'd have had you adopted. Anyway.
That's what my actual dad said.
Not drown you at birth.
No, he just threw me out at window.
Yeah. Your dad's not Michael Jackson, is he?
No. Not that I know of.
Bcom says, I'm a sir. Well, then in that case, good evening, sir. David S. Busy you are. Well, if I didn't do this, I'd have to go out and get myself a new wife. Yeah, I think I'll stick at doing this. I'll tell you.
You don't have to go out to get him. You can buy him online now, Chris.
I'm not saying anything because normally when you're on, no.
Chris's history is riddled. Chris's history is riddled.
Normally, Kate, which is your good lady, is watching, and I don't want to say anything that might cause any trouble in the old Moore-house household there. Facebook user, hi. Again, stick your name on the end if you're coming up as Facebook user. I can just be a little more personal then. Rob, no raises in the cupboard, mate. What do you mean? I'm going for the Jesus look. This is what it is, you know. I'm that lazy. I can't even be bothered to that. And Andrew, good evening, Andrew. Chris is like the grandfather you never had. Honestly, pick on me, is it? Look, anyway, talking about picking on people, I apologise because I had you on the other day and I never gave you a chance to give out and shout out your channels. And I felt really, really bad. I always try and put the details of everybody that comes on, all the links to the YouTubes in the description below, and it is. But please go ahead and give a shout out to your channels. Where can people find you, Dan?
They can find me on here more than my own channel, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, do obviously subscribe to Chris. He does put a lot of time and effort in. And for a man of his age and technology, you should be astounded about what this man can achieve. So do go ahead, subscribe to his channel and show him some love. As you say, he deserves the 1K, so get him there. Other than that, yeah, follow us at Turfmoor-house, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and delving into a little bit of Spotify when I can be bothered uploading.
Mate, I showed you, talking about being a father, I showed you how to upload to Spotify. It's not my fault.
You did. You did. And ride a back and taught me how to swim. You did all right, Chris.
That was my biggest mistake, teaching you how to swim. Can I apologise in advance? I've got a really bad cough and cold coming on. I'm sat here, and please don't read anything into the fact that I've got a box of tissues next to my computer. It's just there for my runny nose. And of course, you've got to have the older proverbial man flu lozenges, haven't you? You know.
Of course you do.
Yeah. The worrying thing is that my son's girlfriend, she's called Lauren, but her nickname she's called Loza. So I'm not sure whether I should be putting those in my mouth or not. I think there's so much. So much wrong with that. But hey, I've got a secret. Do you know? And not a lot of people know this because it's not really been breaking news yet, but Lukaku signed for Chelsea again.
No.
Yes, I just thought I'd share.
Really?
Yeah.
I wish Sky would have mentioned it.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah,
they've been messy this and messy that. Christ, where's this Lukaku news come from?
I don't know. I honestly, it's like, and do you know United have signed Sancho?
Really?
Yes. Oh, you wouldn't think Sky had any bias at all, would you?
Oh, Christ.
Andrew, I'm going to give you a point back. You can also find Dan with his head in his hands when Leicester are 4-0 up. Andrew,
I'm still pissed off. I'm still pissed off with Leicester for Johnny Evans dropping like a sack of shit. I'll never.
Let it go.
That'll
mate.
always be annoying.
Let it go. I can just say, if you hear any interference on the show tonight, Dan has had a curry. And those of you that know Dan very well know that even if he has a fizzy Coke, he has trouble keeping wind down. And I'm just a bit worried now he's had the curry that it might be coming out the other end.
I'm going to try and time it with every time you cough.
Thank you. Just don't follow through. But seriously, I've got. I mean, obviously, breaking news which broke yesterday. Vestergaard, he's actually at Leicester at the moment, doing all his bits and bobs. Hopefully, somebody's giving him a pen to sign. Brilliant signing. I mean, to me, very quickly, because we did touch on it yesterday, Dan. But for a club, and I know we've been looking at Vestergaard for a while, but to look at it and go, we're in the shit. Fofana's injured. Evans is, he's getting a bit older. He's injured. We need somebody quickly. And they went out. They made an offer that they knew would hope, be accepted. Signed. That's the way to do business, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. And touching on yesterday, what you said, you can understand why if you'd have brought Gary Cahill in as a stopgap signing, that would have been understandable. But he's also brought somebody in that he thinks can work, that will work well. He's obviously done his research. Again, going back to that Rob Tanner interview that you had, he said about how Leicester, with the Patson Daka deal, he was so surprised when he came in that they knew everything about him, not just from a football, background, but from his personal background. And they do that sort of, history behind the player. So it's a good astute signing for you guys. I think he'll slot in perfectly fine, do pretty well. And your gain is Southampton's downfall.
Yeah. And I think, if you look at the fact that you're going to have two of the back four have played together for 4 or 5 years or whatever it is. And then also you've got one of your central defenders and the goalkeeper behind him play for the same national team.
Yeah, it can only bode well, can't it? There's no other way of looking at it. It's positive signs all round. And speaking of all round, Chris, I'm sure there's other news of something else.
There is. Funny you should mention that. Can I just say, by the way, tomorrow night, Friday night, I'm back again, 8:30. We're doing the preview show at 7. Me and Craig looking ahead to the Wolves game. Dan has a night off tomorrow from this channel. Yeah. But 8:30 tomorrow night, I'm interviewing Jack from Match Vlogs TV, which is the Southampton channel. And we're going to have a real good talk about Yannick Vestergaard. So that'd be really good because, of course, nobody knows him better than a Southampton fan. So we've got him coming on. But yes, the other news is if you nip down to Boots and you're looking for foot spa, you'll find it in Leicester. I mean, here we go. We've seen these pictures before, but from the outside, that looks bloody amazing. It's our new stadium, which, if it gets the go-ahead, public consultations have started today. My God, I mean, it's Wembley-like, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I was just going to say it's got elements of Wembley. It's got elements of Spurs' new stadium. I think the roofing bit above sort of has a bit of an Allianz Arena look to it as well.
Yes.
You've sort of picked a bit of some decent modern stadiums and not thrown it together. You've obviously put it together in a way that, you're thinking, you know what, sod it, you think that's nice, you think that's nice. Well, we'll have a bit of yours, a bit of yours, and a bit of yours.
Yeah.
And you know what? It can only bode well. I think you've got a decent position for. I'm guessing you'll be building on the same site as this current stadium.
Yeah, it's just expanding. And if you just bear with me and make the most of watching this, because I have a feeling that when this goes out, that YouTube may make me blur it out later on. But let me just see if I can just line this up. This is what it's going to look like.
Attracting a new profile of visitor, a new standard of event, and a new breadth of talent the city has not seen before. The development centrepiece will be an East Stand expansion of 8,000 seats. Its spectacular, illuminated rooftop that will create an iconic Leicester landmark will be instantly recognisable throughout the city and around the world. Broader plans include a 220-room hotel, residential town, fan plaza, and retail store.
I'm going to be honest with you, mate. I'm sat here with a hard on.
The thing is,
how good does that all look?
It looks good because obviously they're not just doing that stand; they're obviously doing other things, on the outside as well. So they're also.
Yeah.
It's not just that they'll be creating jobs. Okay, fair enough. It's going to be one stand attached to the rest of, the King Power at the moment. But in the long run, there's going to be more to that than that. Surely, I don't think it'll stay as it is.
Depends how well, I suppose, Leicester do. But as I was looking on the King Power Stadium, because they own hotels and shopping centres as well as the duty free, and they don't build a normal structure anywhere at all. I'm just laughing at what your missus has said. I'll bring it up in a second. They do like going for that little bit difference. And to be honest with you, when this first was muted, and I saw that picture, and I'm thinking like, no, it just doesn't look right. But when you see it there on the video and everything, it's like, my God, it's just because they bought all the land sort of to the east of the stadium, and they've got all these plans, and it's scary about just don't go and get relegated, Leicester.
No, I can't see it happening, Chris. You're a club that's got a club that's on the up, a club that's got everything happening that's exciting behind it. that's why we said the other day, everybody looks at Leicester and is envious of what they've got, the togetherness, the belief, the fact that they're not that they're building, they're not just bought like a certain other blue team from the Manchester area. You know, you're building a legacy. You're not buying a legacy, and I think that's what a lot of fans are loving. She's right. She's right.
Kate.
She's right. She's spot on. To be fair, we've put a sign outside Turfmoor, and it's supposed to say "Welcome to Turfmoor." After the rain against Cadiz, it ended up saying "Welcome to the Tur." The Earthmoor went off. They've repainted the word turf, and that's it. So it now says "Welcome to Turf." Like, take the O off and just put an apostrophe so it sounds northern. Welcome to Turf. You know,
why not? Going into the gardening business, are you at all?
Oh, God knows. It's silly. It is silly.
Yeah, but hey, you know, we're what I you know, and I think a lot of sort of fans from the bigger clubs don't get it. Is, I mean, if this was, say, the same thing happening to Burnley, we've been there, we've been down in the depths, and we've struggled, and we've gone out of business, I say, twice. And to be supporting Leicester at the moment, and I'm not trying to rub anything in, but it's just we're living the dream. There's no, there's no two ways, you know. Hi Maisie, how you doing? Welcome along. Maisie's got a new channel out, Devils United. Go and check it out there. And I've seen in her bedroom, and she is a devil, believe you me. We'll move on. She knows what I mean. David says there's an awesome video presentation. Yeah, we've just seen it. Andrew, quickly before we move on to the main thing this evening, says Andrew says, is Dan relieved that we have signed Vestergaard and not Tarkowski?
No. I'd rather have took some money for Tarkowski this season than him going a free at the end of it. But you know, it is what it is. You've got an astute signing there. It makes perfect sense for Vestergaard. If we get a good season out of Tarkowski, then decent. You know, as we say, there's 3 weeks of the window left. We still need some bodies in. And who knows? The fact that nobody will be sniffing around for Tarkowski at the moment, who's to say that anyone will want him?
Yeah, there is that. He may end up, you know, just signing a new contract for you, you know. And I think,
fingers crossed.
I think with Vestergaard, I think, you know, if you look at the problem with, and I wanted us to sign Tarkowski because a bit like Vestergaard, he would have just slotted right in and you know, like putting a pair of shoes on. You know, he knows the Premier League, etc. But it was how much you were asking for him. At the other end, you've got Cahill, who wouldn't have cost us a penny to get in, but we'd probably just have him for the season. Vestergaard is like the best of both. You know, like we said before, he knows Ryan Bertrand, he knows Kasper Schmeichel, he knows the Premier League, and he's only 15 million. And I do know that Brendan's been after him since last year, so you know it's all good. And with this stadium, like I say, honestly at the moment this channel's like watching porn. It's like I'm sorry, I just can't help being excited. I've got, you know, as a Leicester fan,
I can't blame you. It's like, you know, Leicester fans, no matter how many times people have predicted or another season in fifth, you know, you'll happily take that because it's not, you're not on a decline, you're not on an incline, but
no.
You know, you're steady away. You sat in a comfortable position there. Yeah. And, you know, you can't argue with that. I'd snap my hand off for fifth every season.
I can remember when we had Martin O'Neill as manager, and we used to have one good stand, but it was the stand that the players came out of. And he used to say when he was signing players, he used to reverse players out. So as they came out of the tunnel, they could see the stand, because the stand opposite was like a bike shed, you know. So
Kate's just messaged me. Kate's just messaged me on Facebook now and said that when she went to pick my mum up from work earlier, that they've started painting the word more. So finally, oh. Down at Turfmoor, it's like watching porn, lad. Like watching porn.
It's difficult to get a workman in, isn't it, these days? You know, you got to.
Well, yeah.
Scott says apparently we are looking at Scott Dams on a free. I've not. We're still being linked with everybody under his sun. It's the January transfer window. Dan, thanks for putting up with that and say my porn half hour. It's a bit like the old 5-minute freeview you used to get on Babe Station.
Hey, trust me, Chris. I wanted to say something about it anyway. I think it looks absolutely stunning. I think it'll look better in person, and the stand's not that bad either.
No, stop talking about me like that. You know, we will meet up soon. I need to change the link, so I'm just going to do the introduction. Bring you back in after that, and we'll be back straight after this.
Are you ready? I'm saying, are you ready?
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
It is. Thank you for staying with us there, Dan. I've got to do another share. It won't let me share two screens, extra screens. So I've got to get off the LCFC with the stadium and onto the BBC for the team prediction. So, David, good evening. How the devil are you? Scott says, would you take Benkovic off first? I think you'd take anybody, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would.
But anyway, we've done a lot of these prediction shows leading up to the big kickoff, which is tomorrow night, Brentford against Arsenal. Come on, Brentford. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do my own. I'm going to try and I'm useless at predictions. And I don't know if you remember the Champions League final, AC Milan against Liverpool. And obviously it was 3-0 up at half time, Milan. And I turned to my son and went, that's it. Liverpool are ain't going to come back from this. And of course they came back to 3-0, came to penalties. And I think it was Shevchenko was about to take the penalty. And I went, I'd put my mortgage on him scoring. And of course he missed. So that's how good I am at predictions. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to do my own. I'm going to try and predict where all the teams have gone. And I thought I need an expert to come in and sort of agree, disagree. Yes. If he knocks on the door, put him on.
I will do.
To say whether I'm being absolutely stupid or whether you agree with me. You're not going to agree with me with everything, but you might agree with me with 19, maybe not one of them, you know. But I have, over the last few days with the signings, I have kind of changed a little bit from what I was saying on a few of the streams. So, excuse me, time for you to fart there. Bless me. Let's go. So, starting obviously at the bottom, and we'll work our way up. It works for me most nights. We will start with the team that I think are going to be in 20th place. And I'm sorry, to me, there can only be one team that is, and that is Watford. I think teams that come up, I do know that the Championship is very competitive, in a lot of ways more competitive than the Premier League. But I just think the gap is widening between the Premier League and the Championship. And of course, Wolves and Norwich and Brentford, they don't get, well, certainly Wolves and Norwich don't get the parachute payments because they come straight back up again. But Troy Dean is virtually coming on in his wheelchair now. You know, how much longer can he go on for? And we just know what they're like. If they get off to a bad start, they'll sack the manager. They'll bring another manager in, and it didn't work for West Brom last year. So I just can't see. They're just a disaster waiting to happen for me, Watford.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head with that one. They do more transfer business in regards to managers than they do players. Yes. It's ridiculous. I mean, Sean Dyche was the first one to feel, to feel the wrath of that. Yeah. You know, when the Pozzo family came in, he'd been, through their system as, youth team coach, first team coach, then assistant to Malky Mackay at the time, and then went in as top dog and didn't really do too much wrong. But obviously the Pozzo family came in, thought they could splash the cash and get Zola in. But yeah, as you see, Watford have been known to do that recently, chop and change quite a lot. I don't really think they've got a lot of quality all over the field either. I mean, Will Hughes is a really good player and he wants to leave. He's obviously been training with the under-23s or even the under-18s, and you've got Ben Foster, who's an ever-aging goalkeeper, who's pretty much more into his cycling and his YouTube now. So, if he is watching, do feel free. We will collab. I'm partial to a collaboration, but as Chris knows, I'm always here. But you can't go far wrong. Watford, bottom of the league. I'd have said exactly the same.
I mean, was it last time they were up? They actually had three managers in a season, and because they had Nigel Pearson from Leicester. He was in for a while, and he had virtually turned it around, and they were very close to getting out of the bottom three, and then they sacked him. I just don't understand these teams. We could have sacked Nigel Pearson after we lost in the playoffs against Watford, believe it or not. We didn't. We stuck with him and we broke every record and went up as champions the next season. Sometimes you've got to stick with the manager, and they just don't know the meaning of it. But excuse me, I'm going to have another loss in during a minute. But so Watford, I'm afraid, in 20th. And it's not looking good for the newly promoted teams because I've got Norwich in 19th. The Pookie is their main striker. He didn't really do it for the whole season last time they're up. So why do they think he's going to be able to do it this time? Yes, they've stuck with Farquhar and he's brought them back up. So well done. But I just think it'd be the same old with Norwich. They are the proverbial bride's knickers on a wedding night, up and down like nobody's business. I want them to see them stay up because I've nothing against Norwich, and they have stuck with the manager. But I don't know. I just think they're going to fall short again.
Yeah, I think you're right. Obviously, they lost Ben Godfrey to Everton. Before the last time they went down. The only people they've really got in there that were hitting the hearts when they were in the Premier League last time was Max Aarons and Todd Cantwell. As we said, there's still 3 weeks of the window. They're both linked with moves away, even abroad. So who knows? I know they brought in Rashika and Sargent from abroad. They're two strikers that that you've got a pacey forward in Rashika, but it's whether they can cut it in the Premier League.
Yeah.
As we saw, Pookie had one good season. So did Michu, but so did Amiyazaki for Wigan. And then they didn't do anything after that. So yeah, Norwich in 19th, I can totally understand. So the first two have been decent to agree on, Chris. I won't lie to you.
And I think getting Sargent in, I don't think they can get a field marshal in and stay up to, hey, see what I did there? This show isn't just thrown together, Oh,
I know. That's why they're in 19th, because they've got a very bad squad here.
Oh, God. I'll give you that. I can't moan at that. When we do that Shearer Ian Wright thing, that is going to That's going to be the shortest video going. But yes, sorry guys, but it's back now. Now my 17th and therefore down is
18th.
18th, sorry, and therefore down. I've actually changed 3 or 4 times, and I think there's a lot of clubs could actually fill that position. Are Burnley one of them? You have to wait and see. But I think at the moment, with just the way things are going, I've had Newcastle in there, I've had Palace in there, but I'm going to have to go, I'm afraid, for Southampton. And I know they've been very nice and, sold us, Vestergaard, but, they've got hardly any defence now. They've lost Ryan Bertrand because they wouldn't give it on, won't give him a new contract. Vestergaard's gone, Ings has gone. It's like the rest of the Premier League are sort of pigeons round there, sort of, crusts on the breadcrumbs on the floor. And I just think, I don't know, you can't keep selling players. You just can't keep selling players. And yes, you'll get the, Leicester, the prime example. You get the odd youngster come through, but you need to hold on to your players. You need to build on that squad. And Southampton aren't doing, and I fear for them for the rest of the transfer window.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to invest any of the money back, are they? By the looks of things, they've not really done anything as of yet. Are they going to have a late flurry of activity? I don't think so. I think looking at it, a lot of people will even look at Southampton and think, "Whoa, here we go." There's a bit, they're expecting Che Adams to kick on. They're expecting, Adam Armstrong. That's who they've brought in from Blackburn. I hope he sucks. I hope he just does awful and fails. Not because of his past.
Not biased.
No, nothing.
No,
nothing like that at all. No. But yeah, I mean, I suppose he's in the error of his ways, so I'll give him that. But but yeah, Southampton, they're in the mud. They're in the mud. And 18th is a solid position. As I say, if they do manage to stay up by the skin of the teeth, it's literally either one position above. Yeah. Because they're not going to be in and around a good mid-table finish. They're definitely going to be scrapping for their life this season.
Like I said, the next two could easily fill that 18th position as well, and I have had them in there at some point in the last few days. But at 17th for me, it's going to be Crystal Palace. New manager coming. Craig, sorry, good evening to Craig. And you're probably right there about Norwich as well. Palace, they've got a new manager in who's done nothing. And I know you've got to take risks on managers sometimes. Sometimes you look at ex-players that are brilliant. They don't always make good managers, unfortunately. They've lost a lot of their squad. They've got Zaha, but, you can't rely on one player season in, season out. And I just think, again, like Southampton, they've lost a lot of the squad. If they're not 17th, they're going to be 18th or even lower. I think every year you look at Palace, and you can go back to when Sam Allardyce went there a few years ago and kept them up. Have they really progressed from that? Did Roy Hodgson take them to that next level, or just keep them at the level that they're on?
Yeah, he steadied the ship. Yeah. He steadied the ship, and that was it. And he got to a point where he realised that was his level with Palace. He wasn't getting any higher. He wasn't going any lower. He was keeping them in the Premier League, and that was. I don't know. I suppose that's a good thing for Steve Parish in a way.
But as a fan, would you not want more? And and again, no disrespect as a Burnley fan, but I know as a Leicester fan under Martin O'Neill, when we were winning League Cups at the start of every season, yes, we wanted to stay in the Premier League, and that was the main aim. But you still would like to see teams progress, wouldn't you? Your team progress.
Yeah, and it's not just that though. They've got decent players in there. They've got Zaha, who on his day can be a world beater. They've got Zaha, who on his day can be a world beater. Did I say they've got Zaha?
You may have done. Don't worry. We'll edit it out. Don't worry.
No, but yeah, it is one of those where with Palace they have had some decent players, as we said. Cahill was a good player for them. They've had James McArthur, good solid players that do a job for you in the Premier League, which give them another 2 years of being on the free transfer list. They may even come to Burnley yet.
I've got to ask you though, do you think Zaha's a world beater?
Well, I mean, on his day, yes. On his day, yeah. But then you would say that when Palace had a team that is built around Zaha's strengths.
Yeah.
And it's a bit
I honestly think he's a world beater. I really do.
Well, he's sort of up there with it's like Jack Grealish, isn't it? With Villa. They're a one-man team sort of thing, and I can understand why you've got him in there, because if Patrick Vieira, I nearly said Patrice ever then. Patrick Vieira, if he
were freezing a bit,
doesn't
so
find a winning
formula
straight off the bat, he's going to struggle.
No, yeah.
Hey, that's
sorry,
all right.
I talked over you, but yeah, like I say, you went a little bit doing the old Peter Crouch robot there for a bit with the internet connection, so I wasn't sure what you said, but we got the gist of it. But yeah, certainly, like you say, it's a big ask for him in his first job. G4DSD3N, and I've probably just sent a code to somebody that says send you drugs over this Friday. But nice to have you back, mate. He said, hello, I've missed a few things on your channel recently due to COVID. Mate, I hope you're well. I hope you're getting on the mend and you're feeling better. Nice to have you back. Thanks for coming back on, and take care of yourself and stay safe. Well, you probably guess who's coming in at 16th then, after the conversations that I've had. But I'm going to put Newcastle there. I did only a couple of days ago. I was on a Man United chat and they had a Newcastle fan on, and I'm sorry that I put them in the bottom three, but I think they are going to struggle this year. They've been there and thereabouts, and I feel really sorry for them. I feel sorry for the fans, and when you look at things like Arsenal and their fans are moaning after they've had one bad season, and the ownership they've got. Look at Newcastle; they've had Ashley for 19 years, and I do feel sorry about this thing not going through. And the Newcastle fans are great people, really give you some good banter and chat, but I do fear for them. I mean, they finished last season. I think they finished above you, didn't they? In the end, yep. Actually finished 12th, which on a good, on a normal season, you'd probably say is not a bad finish. But they won 3 of the last 5 to finish there. So the rest of the season, they were, bobbing just above that bottom 3.
Yeah, I think they were heavily going to be relying on.
Oh, sorry, Dan.
Hello again.
Sorry,
Mrs. usually does that. Mrs. usually does that with a nice right hook.
Hey, what you get up to in your bedroom? I don't want to know.
Why do you think I wear an hat? I'm scarred to shit under here. But yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. As I said, they're relying so much on Joe Willock's goals. They're relying on him just big time. Really, they're expecting a lot for little money, and I think that's not from Steve Bruce, but also from above. Exactly what you said as well, Chris, that it's going to be a struggle for them this season. They are a big club, though. They are a big club. They have done pretty decent in the past, and maybe they need a rebuilding period. But it's about bringing in the right caliber of player, and they've got one in Joe Willock. 16th, I think, is a decent position for Newcastle. I think so far, I can't disagree with where you've put anybody.
Yeah. I've got to love this name, Sweaty Scottish Lad.
Narrow it down, will you?
I'm not. G4, we'll call you G4 just well, Daniel's Dan, Christopher's Chris. That's going to be shortened to G4. He's a Palace fan, he says, and he thinks they will come 17th as well. Scott thinks Newcastle will be safe easily. I mean, I've moved them up to 16th purely because of Willock. I mean, he kept them virtually up last year, like you said, on his own. So, But G4 says he's got them 14th. Well, 14th, 50th, I've got them 16th. We're pretty close there, aren't we?
Yeah.
Scott says Newcastle have some great attacking threats. Yeah, but have they got a manager that uses them?
Yeah, exactly. And you've got to keep Callum Wilson fit. St. Maximum's always in trouble. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can change a game. Just bring him from the bench, you can change a game. I mean, we knew that last season, but it's going to be a tough season for Newcastle, where I think Newcastle are going to have one of them seasons where they think they could be dragged into it, similar to last season, where there were a bulk of teams that could be dragged into that relegation scrap, and then they have one of those, decent few results towards the end and bulks them up to 16th.
So Sweaty thinks they're going to be 10th, and G4 thinks that they Watford will actually come 15th. So I mean, this is football, isn't it? You can get,
of course it is.
You can get 10 fans from the same club and they'll put the team in 10 different places. So we're going up to 15th now. Now we're coming into certain guest territory here. In 15th, I've actually got. We've gone past Burnley. I've got Wolves. Had a couple of good seasons. They've also lost some decent players over that time. New manager coming in. I still don't know why Nuno left. I think he was a perfect fit there. I just think he was doing a damn good job. But he's off to Spurs as their 8th choice manager, and I think this is the season that they're going to struggle.
Yeah, of course. As you state, they've gone from Nuno to Bruno. Is his tactics going to work? Well, that's his name, isn't it? It's Bruno.
I know what you mean, Harry.
Bruno Lager. Lager. But yeah, he's no one knows how he's going to set up. Nuno had a decent setup going for Wolves. Whether the players believe in that or not, I mean, are we going to? I mean, some of the players for Wolves were getting old as well. Joao Martinho was cracking on a bit. I don't know. Wolves could be one of those where it could go either way. They could finish mid-table or just be the surprise package of the season.
I just think they've had their surprise package year, though. The first year they came up and they qualified for the Europa League, and they did very well in Europa League. And I just think sometimes you can have a manager and a club that are a really, really, really good fit, and when another manager comes in, it can just not work. And it can ruin. It can ruin. The chemistry that was there, and I think that is this case. Scott, obviously a man of great foresight, there agrees with me. But he thinks they could even be lower. But I just think the teams below Wolves are what I would call the first of probably the decent teams, and of course mid-table. Like G4 says, it could go either way. There could be a couple of places higher or a couple of places lower. Now then, you're getting excited here, Dan, aren't you? You're thinking, we're up to 15th, and we've not seen Burnley yet.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, are we flirting around top 10 here yet, or what?
No, don't get too excited, because I've got you in as 14th, which is an improvement on last year. And I've been listening to what you've been saying, which hasn't actually filled me with a lot of confidence for Burnley. And I like Burnley. Having lived there a few years, I always keep an eye out for them. And a little bit of me, when you got relegated last time, kind of went, yes. Because there was always that rivalry between me being a Leicester fan and Burnley. And we were very similar when we were both in, the second tier for so long together. It was doing finished. And both my sons have been mascots for Leicester at Turfmoor. But I have a great deal of admiration for Sean Dyche. A few years ago, I don't think now, but a few years ago, I would have paid to have him come to manage Leicester. I think he's a great manager, a great motivator. I just think last season, I was surprised where you were as low as you were. I mean, you actually finished 17th. So, I mean, you stayed up, as it happens, by 11 points. So it wasn't, at the end of the day, it wasn't that close. But But last season you had 3 teams that really were worse than you. But I just don't think Sean will let that happen for a second year. You've still got a few weeks of the transfer window. If you can keep hold of Tarkowski now that we've not come in from, and again, I don't mean that horribly, but you were the one that was being linked with him most. If that doesn't happen, you can keep him. He may even sign that new contract, and then if you sell him in a few years' time, get some money for him. He might have £100 million get out clause put in his contract. Who knows?
I don't know really how this season's going to go. I've even predicted us that we'll finish 13th. I think I've been a bit too heavy on that one, to be honest. Last season, Sean Dash made every fan feel like Marvin Gaye because we believed in miracles and we stayed up.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the job he has done is fantastic. I love how he has banter with the press officers. I was listening to his press conference earlier, and they said, obviously, there's 3 weeks left of the window. What you expecting? He says, well, I'm very disappointed in Messi. He never told me he were off to PSG. He actually said he was coming to Turfmoor. It's only when I read the text back that he said he was coming to buy the club, not play for it.
He does. There's a great clip of him when he's doing an interview. Somebody's phone goes off. One of the reporters' phone goes off, and he picks it up.
Yeah.
Do you want you? I mean, I love the guy. I love the guy to bits. I think you got a great manager there, and you've stuck with him, and that's the thing. You've not. He went down. You stuck with him, and he brought you back up. I just think, like I said, I think last year it was just one. You sometimes get one of those years. I always remember Everton, under Martinez, they'd have a good year, a bad year, a good year, a bad year. And I don't think you're going to have a spectacular year. And like I said, 14th, 15th, 30th, all these teams can, be a couple of places either way. But would you be happy with 14th?
Oh, massively happy with 14th, definitely. As you stated, there is 3 weeks left of the window. The new chairman does need to back him. Apparently, according to that interview, that the chairman and him are in regular dialogue about what's needed. He said that it's clear to see that we're screaming out for wide players, which no doubt means that we'll be re-signing Aaron Lennon since he's training with us. But yeah, I mean, until the 3 weeks is over, I'll remain optimistic. But we need to see something in those 3 weeks. And in those 3 weeks, like I say, there's 3 or 4 games in there, including the cup game against Newcastle, which got drawn yesterday. So, yeah, it all makes for an interesting opening month to the Premier League season. But I would snap your hand off of 14th now if it was guaranteed.
We're going to go a little bit quicker here because I'm just concerned of the time. And believe it or not, I've got sloppy seconds. I've got another show on after this. Stephen, S Flatley TV there, great guy, even though the fact that he's an Arsenal fan. He's probably just
someone has to be.
Somebody has to be, yeah, Apparently,
hope you're well, though, Stephen.
Arsenal are going to start transferring fans now, so apparently, you might be getting Ostergaard, whatever he's called, so you might be leaving Maddison alone. But I tell you what, guys, get over to S Flatley TV. He does Formula One stuff, and he also does general football stuff there. And the good thing about his channel, it's a charity channel, Children's Liver Disease Foundation. Great supporter of that. It's helped him out. He raises money for that. Get over there and make sure you sub to that channel. He's asking if you're free. I'll leave you to talk this over between you. He's asking if you're
I'll drop
free
you a message
Sunday.
after this.
Yeah. Scott, I know what Scott's saying here. Leicester are definitely one of the best clubs in the Premier League, but they've got to be. I think what you're trying to say there, Scott, is that they're not necessarily in the best team in the league, but they're in the top one. That's what you're trying to say.
That quote was just one of the most amazing quotes ever. And
yes, yeah, a difficult, fluffy quote, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've heard Dash come out with some stuff because he was a he was only a youth player at Notts Forest when Cloughie were there, and he said he used to go into the changing room, and there was, I can't remember who it were. There was some player there, and he'd go, "Right, young ginger, clean these boots."
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "What?" And the player would be like, "You don't have to do that." He's like, No. This lad's worked hard all season. Clean his boots, young ginger. Crack on with it." And you're just like, and he didn't know. He didn't know what to do. He said, and it was just method to his madness. But I think no matter what, he's up there. Cloughie is up there with Gaza for stories, in it, really.
He definitely. I've got Brighton in at 13th. I don't buy into this. Graham Potter, I get it right this time, not Harry. Graham Potter is, in fact, they could probably do with Harry up front because they need some magic. Boom, you see what I did there?
Oh, I love what you did there.
I just
spellbound in that way.
Oh, I'm magic, you know. And I don't buy into this. Graham Potter is the best thing since sliced bread when it comes to English managers, but he's got a decent side there. If he can get them scoring, I think they're going to come in at 13th there. So, but again, like I say, a lot of these can do around. But I'll quickly jump on because of the time. But in 12th, and let me know your thoughts on 12th there, because I'm going for West Ham. I think last season they punched above their weight. Last season they have they had Lingard, which they haven't. Doesn't look like they're going to get back. We were all surprised by West Ham. You know, they were the surprise package last year because they went from only just staying up to, well, you know, 6th in the end. I just can't see it happening again. But I think they'll be comfortably mid-table.
Yeah, I think even West Ham would have been surprised with last season. You ask any West Ham fan, how would they have felt, you know, when they reappointed David Moyes, and they'd have been like, "What a joke! Are you kidding me?" But after the season he's had, if they saw him in the pub, they'd buy him a pint.
Yes.
Instead of swilling him with it. But you know, it is one of those. As you said, they've got Europa. They've got to try and balance that alongside playing Premier League football. And 12th's a nice position for West Ham, which I think they take.
Yes. Scott says here, Chris, I definitely want ever you're on as Brentford still have not been picked out.
I definitely want whatever you're on as Brentford still haven't been picked out.
Definitely want. He's gone want. But that's and high static. We're getting the Arsenal fans here. They're getting excited because I've not picked Arsenal yet either. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. Now, I'll tell you what. In 11th, I actually have got the aforementioned Brentford. Now, you may laugh at that. And I just think there's always a team that comes up that surprises everybody. When you think, like, where the hell have they come from? You know, I can remember Blackpool coming up and they were top of the table for a while.
Yeah, they were,
yeah. It's always about the second season for a lot of clubs. But, yeah, I mean, I think out of the three, if they can keep hold of Ivan Toney and he gets into gets his scoring boots on, they've got a good manager there. And I just think they will surprise a few people. Look at Sheffield United in their first season.
Yeah.
They were close. They were close to actually getting into Europe. I know last season they ballsed it up and completely went the other way. Wolves, when they first came up, got into Europe. There is always a team that comes up, and the pressure's off Brentford, I feel, because Norwich and Watford have done it before. So they're the ones that people are going to say should stay up out of the three because they've been there. They know what to expect. But I just think Brentford, as I said, Ivan Toney's a great player. I wish we'd bought him, but, we've got Daka, so I'm more than happy, obviously. But I just think that they will be the surprise package and could be a comfortable mid-table.
Yeah, hit the nail on the head again. It's a tough one because I've gone for them to, depending on what happens in regards to injuries, is it going to be a major jump up for Brentford? I've gone for them to be flirting down in the bottom half. But listening to what you're saying, who's to say they can't? Who is to say they can't? You know, they've been flirting around in the Championship, trying to get to the Premier League for the last few seasons.
Yeah.
And if you look down at the Championship, Preston did that for years. They were constantly in the playoffs, and they'd always shit out a look, which was always good to watch from our perspective, anyway. But you know, Brentford finally did it. They've come up, and now they'll want to stay there, and they'll use this season to think, let's give it a right good bloody go, and see where we can finish.
Yeah. And look at Leeds as well. You know, last season, you know,
Leeds again.
There is always one surprise package, and I just think it's going to be Brentford. But that is my 20th to 11th. So we've got, excuse me, Watford 20, Norwich 19, then Southampton. Those are the three I think will go down. But you could throw into that mix Crystal Palace and Newcastle in 17th and 16th. I think the relegation three are going to come out of those those five teams. Wolves and Burnley, 15th and 14th respectively, I think will be safe. Brighton, mid-table, nothing really. West Ham back to the normality, and Brentford the surprise package. So we're going to look at the top 10, and I am going to be right back, and we'll do that straight after this.
The Premier League is back, and we've got it all covered here on Leicester Till I Die TV. Subscribe.
So it is back, and I'm really getting excited. G4 says Arsenal have to finish below Tottenham. Like, I know it sounds mad, but I believe that they'll always say they will finish sixth. Scott, are you both on Chris's lozenges? If so, what's in them? Man flu. Look at that. Man flu lozenges, mate. That's what you need. Melina, good evening, Melina. Hope you were well. Hope your dad's still on the mend. Nice to have you in. Again, you've come in to see where I've put Arsenal, haven't you? Well,
he needs to scroll down, Melina. He needs to scroll down. He ain't put him in yet.
No. If there was a 21st, as Scott says, please Arsenal and Spurs next. Yeah. Well, in 10th place, I wish I had a drum roll sound effect. I really do. But let's go 10th and. Thank you, sir. Arsenal are 10th. Yes. I think even if they buy Maddison, and who knows, as I've said, all sort of joking aside and all banter aside, if Maddison does go to Arsenal, then you know he goes. But he'll go on our terms, and he'll go on the amount of money that we want for him. But I don't think he's going to be the saviour for you. You know, I don't think you're going to get him in, and he's not back to the form that he was before. And if you have a look at the FA Cup, and the Community Shield, which we both won, which I do believe the Community Shield, I still say it's like the Super League, you know, the Super Cup. It's the English Super Cup. And congratulations to Chelsea, by the way, last night. I should have said that.
Yeah, congrats to Chelsea.
Nice to see an English team do well.
I won another football bet on that as well. I had Chelsea to win on penalties.
Did you? Hey. A little bit of me was saying, come on, Villarreal, because we've obviously beaten Villarreal, and that would have made us, by default, champions of Europe. But no, I just don't think Arsenal will have enough. Arteta, if you stick with him, who knows how he will grow and whether he will get better. But it's whether Arsenal fans are going to trust the process. That's annoyed them all. They're going to trust the process and actually stick with him. I don't think Kroenke will necessarily sack him, because I don't think he's got the balls to make a decision. He probably doesn't even know how bad Arsenal are doing at the moment. But come on, Arsenal fans, it's been one bad season amongst a lot of decent seasons. You're not the club you were at the moment. Yes, in stadium size, you are, of course, an on-past history, of course. But, in the past, I was 21. We can all look at what we had in the past. I had less weight when in the past than I've got now. So things move on.
Yeah, and it's like you said, though, as well, Chris, going back to what you said about Maddison, if Maddison does go to Arsenal, then for me, I can only see it being a bad move. I can see Maddison sort of wanting out after only a season, maybe. Yeah. Maddison will be used like a bit of a scapegoat, like Mesut Ozil.
Yeah.
I think that's how it'll be. Will he hit the ground running there? Probably, because he's in that sort of side. I think it'll favour the way he plays. But they've got to surprise him from your grasp yet. And I think I'd put it one way: if I had a choice myself and I was in his head, I'd be choosing to stay at Leicester.
Yeah, and I mean, Roy Keane said it on the Community Shield stroke Super Cup that he would be mad to leave. I mean, he's got it's London, and he likes a party, Maddison. I could see him being attracted by the lights of London. I mean, he's a Coventry lad, so I mean, even Burnley would be a move up from Coventry as a town, but. He's not back to his best. He's not going to save you on his own. Let's face it. This time tomorrow night, well, not quite this time, but Brentford are playing Arsenal. Brentford could be higher in the Premier League than Arsenal could be, so he wouldn't even be the biggest club, after Chelsea. So. Yes, if he goes, he goes, and good luck to him. I would wish him well, but I'm afraid Arsenal, you need more than him, and I have got you down there in 10th place. Now, this next one is going to be interesting. I have a feeling that Scott is going to get really, really, really excited about this. I've got Tottenham. I ummed and ahed between 8th and 9th with Tottenham. They've got the problems. We know they have. They're in massive debt, which is why they were pushing more than any other club, I believe, for the Super League. But, they couldn't get a manager to go to them. Their striker, I can see him going after the weekend when they play Man City. I just don't think Daniel Levy wanted him to go before that. But they've got no Bale this year to bail them out. Hey. I think it's just another season of struggle for Tottenham. And I know they finished 7th last year, but that was more on the fact that Leeds fell away at the end and Arsenal couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag. So I have got Tottenham there in 9th position.
Yeah, I don't even think I really need to add anything more to that, Chris. I think you hit the nail on the head there with everything. So, Spurs in 9th, solid spot. Yeah.
And Scott says, Chris, surely because we beat the European Super Cup champions in the final, does that not mean Leicester are the real European champions? I think it does, to be honest with you. I think it does. Right. So, it does mean as well, of course, that Leicester have not only beaten the European Europa League champions, they've also beaten the Champions League champions. What can I say? Just come and support Leicester, guys. Come and support Leicester. This is the surprise one, and I think people will be going like, why haven't you picked these already? Everton in at number 8. The thing is, Everton had some good players. It was quite funny when you saw Ancelotti couldn't wait to get out once Real Madrid came calling. But in fairness, what manager wouldn't have left any club if Real Madrid had come calling them? They're not in quite as much trouble as Barcelona, but Ancelotti had brought some good players along. He's got a team. He's looked at that and he thought, this is a good team. There's some good players. Excuse me. Hopefully he can get them to play. And I think he's a bit of a wily old fox, is Benitez, and I think he's been not given the credit probably for what he's done. But I think he can get a good tune out of those players. I think Everton will be up there.
It's like that old saying, isn't it? You can. Some people can get a decent tune out of an old fiddle, and I think that's exactly what Rafael Benitez could do.
Yes.
As you said as well about Ancelotti, he probably did better for, is it Moshiri, who's the owner of Everton?
And it's somebody like that, yes.
Yeah, I think Farhad Moshiri, I think he's expecting success. He's pumped money in. He gave a ton of money to Ronald Koeman, and that didn't work. You know, he brought some players in that didn't work. Ancelotti came in, did pretty well. It's just that they kept falling away. You know, last season their home form was shocking. But then, yet again, I think everybody's home form weren't that decent last season.
Yeah.
So, you know, fans being back in stadiums will be a massive help. They've got a lot of excitement to look forward to with the move down to Bramley-Moore Docks. So who knows? Who knows? Rafa could be the man that sort of this season steadies them in 8th, but next season, bit of money of his own, a few acquisitions.
Yeah.
Could be even putting Everton further up the table.
I think when you look at what he managed when he was at Newcastle, if you can replicate that at Everton, like you say, not this season, but in next couple of seasons, you may be looking at Europe again for them. Now I'm going to be putting 6th and 7th together because this could go either way. In 7th, and he's just obviously the manager's just signed a new contract, and that's Leeds, last year's surprise package. Aston Villa, who were also a bit of a surprise package last year, because obviously the year before that they'd only just stayed up. I don't know, you don't like me mentioning that, Dan, but they just stayed up. Last season they had a really good season. If they also can hold on to the likes of Phillips and keep that team together. We know how they play. Remind me a lot of Leicester under Martin O'Neill, and he had a few good seasons also to mid-table. And Villa, it pains me to say it, being a Midlands club, but they've got £100 million. They've already spent some of that. Ings, amazing signing. Again, a player that probably a lot of us would have said, we would take. That was not even rumoured to be happening, and they were in there. But they could be either way. But I think that is how I see 7th and 6th going.
Yep, hit the nail on the head. Obviously, I know we're looking at time-wise and stuff. I won't keep it for long. It's absolutely spot on. Villa have spent. I think maybe as well. You're asking a lot for Villa to be that high, maybe. But who knows? If anyone's going to get that team playing, it's Dean Smith. So
exactly, yeah.
So fair play. 6th position. I think they'll be very happy.
I think for me, because they had a good season last season. I mean, they finished 11th, but before that, they spent quite a bit of time sort of higher than that. So, I just feel that those two, like I say, you can swap those around. Now it gets interesting.
Well, we all know who's coming in here, don't we, Chris? You could have done this. You could have done this one really before we'd even done 20th.
Well, it's a team beginning with L. I'm actually going for Liverpool.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and that is despite me saying all along that we would be 5th again, and I would be happy with 5th again. And Europa League, don't get me wrong, I would be so happy with 5th again. However, and I'll come on to where Leicester may be in a second, Liverpool... They struggled last season for a bit. Yes, they came good at the end, but we do need for Leicester to go into the top 4, whether that's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. We need a team to drop out, and simply out of the 4 teams that finished in the top 4 last time, Liverpool is the one I can see dropping out. Yeah,
I mean, I am surprised by it. Sorry, I'm not going to lie. I honestly thought you were going to pop Leicester in there. So it's nice to see that you're keeping a bit of bias. I like that.
Go on, I was kind to Burnley. Don't be unkind.
No, I do know what you mean. It's a do or die sort of season for Liverpool. I think they've got to look at last season and realise, hold on a minute, 2 seasons back we won the Premier League comfortably. And last season we struggled and literally limped over the line, sort of thing. Liverpool were like the Dick Dastardly of wacky races last season, weren't they?
Yeah. I mean, the season before, they'd literally, if there was a trophy, they won it. They were world champions, intercontinental champions, piss pot champions. They were basically everything apart from the League Cup. They won, and they went from that to, well, like you say, creeping over the line because Chelsea and Leicester cocked it up on the last day.
Yeah, it's absolute madness. Are they going to go on and have an onslaught season again? I don't think so. I think they're still recovering from burning themselves out from winning the league. So, yeah, 5th is a good position for them. As I said, between 4th and 5th, if you've got Leicester in 4th, it's a similar situation to the Villa Leeds one, where it could go either way, 4th and 5th.
I might have Leicester as 1st. Who knows?
It wouldn't surprise me.
No, I have got them as 4th. I just think there's such a good feel-good factor around the club at the moment. You know, we've got 2 trophies in the space of 6 months. There's so many, what do they call it, albatrosses being taken off our backs, and with what we're winning, I think we're going to do well in the Europa. But when I look at it and think, like, the old Leicester, even from a couple of seasons ago, would have struggled with probably Evans and Fofana, waiting for them to try and get fit and playing a Marty in that position, or Ndidi back, which would have left us worse off in midfield. I think the fact that they've gone out and said, Vestergaard, we want you, you're coming in, here's the money, Southampton, and he's there talking now. You know, it's a statement of intent from Leicester, and I think this might now be. I'm not going to go as mad as the Newcastle fan the other day who put us a 2nd. I think that was going a bit too far, but I think this could be the season when we do actually break into the top 4.
Why not? Why not? As I say, Brendan could instill that into the players that, look, we've been 5th consecutively. Let's take it up a notch. It could be that, or this season it may be between manager and a boardroom that they want European success. So that's where they're going to be looking at, but also trying to keep that 5th position sort of theirs. Who knows? I suppose only those at the top will know what they're expecting, but you can always expect, no matter what, when you come to play in Leicester, it's always going to be a tough game. So yeah, as I said to you, the same with Villa or Leeds, could go either way. The same with Liverpool or Leicester.
It could do. But like I say, I just think the signing of Vestergaard has just, for me, nudged us over the line. Jordan, hi Jordan, how you doing? What's up, Chris? Liverpool are up. Liverpool are down to 5th, I'm afraid. But there we go. Now, top 3. Let's round. We're going to do 3rd, and then I'm going to do 2nd and 1st, but together. But 3rd is going to be Man United, I'm afraid. They made some good signings. They spent money. We know that. They spent a hell of a lot of money. But I think if they had a different manager, they would be higher. You know, Solskjaer, people accuse Brendan of bottling it. Solskjaer bottles it big style. Never got past, well, apart from, the Europa final, he was the semi-king. That sounds rude, doesn't it? But he's just always, I think he's going to be a manager that's always falls short. He's done well for Man United. When he took over, they were in disarray. He got the squad playing for him. He got that spirit back, and he's got them. Let's be honest with you. 2nd last season. Was it 4th the season before? He's got them into the Europa League final. But like I say, I think if Man United had a different manager, they'd be higher.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just being nosy because there's some drama going on outside the window. I haven't a clue what's going on. Come back to me, Jeff. No.
Cammy. What have you not been watching the match, Cammy? Tell her to shut the bathroom curtains.
It's the local neighbour, Jeff. She's coming back. She's been on a wild night out. It seems she's headbutted somebody that was making an advance at her, and she's been shown the red card. She's been sent home, Jeff. No night of passion for the neighbour.
Anyway, talking about scoring.
Yeah, Manchester United. As you said, with the Ollie situation, I think the signings they've made have been absolutely brilliant. Don't get me wrong, but it's the pressure that Ollie will now be under.
Yeah.
not just from fans, but from above, that right, we've let you bring in who you want now. It's not just that. You look at that team and say Pogba, Fernandes, Sancho. You've got Cavani. You've brought in Rafael Varane to partner Harry Maguire. You know, that itself sounds like a title-winning side.
Yeah.
So it's like you've said, a different manager. You're talking flirting around that, that first, second position. Yeah. But yeah, I'll go with what you've gone for. Third is a very good, solid position for United.
Scott says there, Chris, he did make quarterfinals. Who knocked him out, Scott? Yeah, come back to me on that one. Come back to me on that one. So, the top two. Ooh. And I'm going to announce these together because obviously whoever's second, then people can work out who is first. And this, I think, is going to surprise everybody. Man City, I went for Chelsea right at the end of last season, and I went Man City second. They're both big spenders. We know, Grealish for 100 million, Lukaku for 94 million. I don't know what they sold him for, but they made a loss on buying him back. But I can just see buying these big players doesn't guarantee you anything. Because if it did, Manchester City would have won every single game for the past 3 or 4 seasons. And we know, as good as De Bruyne is, he can have a bad game. Bless you. You know, when
finally one's come up. Normality is resumed, Chris.
I'll cough in a bit late there for you, but no, he kept Aston Villa up on his own. I mean, he can't. Once he was out last season, that's when they really struggled. He's going to have some great players around him. And it all depends, of course, also whether Kane goes to Man City. If Kane goes to Man City, then they could be number one. Again, I think this is one of those that could be either way. Chelsea, I do like Tuchel. I wasn't sure about him when he starts, but I've got a lot of admiration for him and the way he handled things when he lost the FA Cup final. Because we won it, just mention that again. But no, it was great in defeat. It was, and pleased that they won the Champions League. Yes, Scott said earlier he could be out by Christmas. I don't think he will be. It could, like I say, literally go either way. But wouldn't it be funny if Man City spend 200 million pounds on 2 players? Can you believe it? And they don't win it. That would just be karma, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm going to go with a big statement here and say that Jack Grealish will be a flop at Manchester City.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that we saw it with going back to Zaha at Palace. He made the move to Manchester United and tried to fit in amongst the big boys. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Grealish is going in there thinking he's Billy Big Bollocks. He's not going to be. He's going to be playing alongside these people of a similar caliber, and he's going to
sort of cases.
Yeah. And the thing is, sometimes you can see a player's class when they're a class above the rest of the squad, like he were at Villa. But now he's in and amongst players that are in that sort of elite caliber. I feel that he's going to struggle. I really do. And it would not surprise me if Man City's second team's probably just as strong as the first anyway. But, it wouldn't surprise me if a couple of games in, Jack Grealish is warming the bench with the likes of Nathan Ake and stuff like that. And there's probably more game time for Liam Delap or something like that.
Yes, yeah. I agree. I agree totally with everything you're saying there. And, with Grealish, he's good. And I think any team would have taken him. Not any team could have afforded that sort of money, but we'd have all taken him. But at the end of the day, what did you do for England? He only ever came on as a sub. Yes, he kind of changed the game. Yes, he was very attacking. Yes, he can move forward and get you free kicks, as can Maddison. But I just think he's got that pressure as well. It may come good. I just don't think it will be this season because if you look at Maguire, he struggled that first season at Man United on that with the 80 million and the most expensive ever defender on his shoulders. Now he's a fantastic player. He's doing great for them, and credit to him. But that first season, I can see that happening with Grealish as well. So it could go either way. It'll be interesting to see. Kane's movement, I think, will kick off a lot of other transfers. Will also affect where Tottenham are. Tottenham could be lower if they get rid of Kane. Man City could win it. But that's that for me. Would you have Chelsea on top, or would you have Man City?
I don't know. Again, it's like you said with Leicester, Liverpool, and Villa, Leeds. It could go either way. Yeah. But Chelsea are doing things, and they sort of sneaking in. They're sneakily doing it as well. Like I said, they've won this, the Super Cup, they won the Champions League. So why not go all out and try and win the Premier League?
Yeah. I had them at the start, and then Scott says, Dan says Man United. I don't know where that comes from, but no, I had Chelsea at the start, then I switched to Man City, and I just think had Tuchel been there all season last season, that they would have given them more of a push than they actually did. But that's my 20. Everybody's going to have different opinions. It will be interesting to see come the end of the season how right I am. I'm probably totally wrong. But, they're a bit of fun, and that's where I have got them.
Why not? Like I say, you thought we'd have a bit more of a disagreement next time. I might have to come in and just be an arse. Just be an absolute arse and just go, nah, you got that one wrong, mate.
Yeah, well, that's the normal you that I was expecting.
Just being the average arse that I am.
Yeah. I mean, the most exciting bit was what your neighbour was doing, No, seriously, mate, it's been great having you on. Thanks for coming on and just giving the opinion of what you thought on my choices. Again, you're a big Burnley fan. I know that, and I do hope they stay up. Burnley tickets have just gone on sale for the Leicester City clash. I don't know whether you do away games or not at all, Dan. But,
yeah. It'd be good to get up to that, and hopefully, I mean, if you're there, which that would be great.
Yeah. It depends if I can get tickets, because I'm not a season ticket holder, so I've got to wait until it gets down to about level tier 4 or something before I.
I probably will do. It's only Burnley, innit? It's only Burnley, so.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to meet up yourself, Craig, Scott, even just Brad. All meet
Brad's
up and have
Manchester. I don't know if Brad would make it or not, but
I can jump on. He can jump on train at Piccadilly, can't he?
He can jump on train or get on
train.
Get on Charabank, then, or they can have a great day out on Charabank. Dan, thank you so much. I'm going to give you another chance because I didn't last time. Give your channel a shout out.
So obviously we're at Turfmoor-house on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Do head on over. Please do go and check out our YouTube channel. We're not just going to be about Burnley stuff. We are going to be doing Premier League content and even delving into other leagues potentially. It's just obviously when ideas come and things happen in football, you've got to be one of those out there to first speak about it. So we will be doing a video soon when Burnley actually release an away kit. So we will be reviewing away kits, which will be great.
Our third kit is already out, and you've not got your away kit.
I like your third kit. I'll just say that. I think it's a really nice kit.
Yeah, I don't, but I know I'll end up buying it. Yeah. I'm glad I
don't like it, but the wallet says, buy it, buy it, buy it.
Exactly. Because it's different, but I just don't know. I like the second. I've got the mint one possibly arriving tomorrow. So, but yeah, so it's Turfmoor-house. No, hang on. It's Turfmoor-house, is it? Or
just Turfmoor-house. The thing is, obviously, it was built on my last name, Moorhouse.
Yeah.
And Turfmoor, stick them together, and there you go. You've got a nice big meaty sandwich. So,
Get over there and be sure to subscribe to Dan's meaty sandwich. It's Kate said it's not to be missed. You know.
If Kate said anything, she'd say it'd be like a chipolata between two pieces of crumbs.
Like a Christmas meal, a chipolata and two Brussels.
Yeah, exactly.
Scott, thanks very much, mate. Great show, Chris, and thanks very much for Dan for coming on.
Cheers, Scott.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks very much, Dan. All the best, mate. And
no problem. Thanks for having me on, Chris.
Anytime I can return the favour. You know, you'll have to do one of these. You can fit one of these in before kickoff.
I did do one. I did do a prediction for who's going to finish where. I think.
I just wasn't invited on. Or was I on?
Oh no, I think I did. I think I did it on my Billy. I did it on my own.
Ah, right. Billy, no, mates. Oh, mate,
yeah.
You know what you're doing. But no, hey, look after yourself. All the best to Kate as well. Go and check on your neighbour, make sure she's all right, and twitch those net curtains, mate. Take care. Cheers.
Take care. Cheers, Chris.
Bye bye. Thanks to Dan. It's always great to have him on. We do have a laugh with Dan. Thanks for watching. I'm going to have to shoot because I've got another show to go and get ready for now. Do my makeup, get ready, and don't forget tomorrow night 7:00. Kate's just adding there. It's not. So what? It is to be missed. Oh well. Better get your meat sandwiches sorted out there. Dan, I'll tell you. Thanks for joining us, Kate, as always. Thanks to Scott for popping in and moderating. As he says there, please do subscribe. We are just over the 900. It's free to subscribe. Get over to YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. We need to get to the 1,000, really, just to help the channel and the group out. Tomorrow night, like I say, 7:00, we're here with the preview of the Wolves game. And then at 8:30, we will be, me and Jack from Matchday Vlogs will be looking at Yannick Vestergaard. And what is he all that? We'll find out tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. Bit of fun. It's been, hope you've enjoyed it. Take care. See you soon.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
To an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share, and get involved. Join us next time.